Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle English grammar. And I know, that word can sound a little intimidating, right? But really, you should think of it as the secret code to speaking clearly and with confidence. And together, we're going to crack that code, starting with the most important key.
And yeah, that's absolutely true. If you've ever felt kind of lost with all the rules, trust me, you are not alone. It's a super common feeling, but I promise you, if you get the right starting point, it is so much simpler than it looks.
Because that's really all grammar is, a set of building blocks. We're going to start with the most important pieces, and by the end of this, you'll see exactly how they all fit together to build some really clear, confident sentences.
So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the blueprint for basically every sentence. Then we'll learn how to name things correctly. After that, we'll jump into talking about time, add a few details to make things interesting, and finally, we'll pack it all into your own personal grammar toolkit. You ready? Let's do this.
Okay, first up, the sentence blueprint. Think of this as the solid ground, the foundation for pretty much everything you're ever going to say in English.
So, at the heart of almost every single English sentence is this simple formula: subject plus verb plus object. The subject, that's who or what is doing something. The verb, well, that's the action. And the object is the thing that receives the action. Let's see what that actually looks like.
Let's build a quick sentence. I, that's our subject, the one doing the action. Like, that's our verb, the action word. And what do I like? Coffee. That's our object. It's receiving the action. Put them together, you get I like coffee. Subject, verb, object. Simple, right?
Let's try just one more. She is the subject. Has is the verb. And what does she have? A car. That's the object. Honestly, this pattern is your new best friend in English. Once you see it, you're going to start noticing it absolutely everywhere.
Awesome. Now that we've got our sentence blueprint down, let's add the next building block. We're talking about those tiny but really powerful words we use to name things. They're called articles.
Okay, here's the main difference. If I say I have a pen, I just mean any old pen, right? It's not a specific one. But if I say the pen is on the table, now I'm talking about one particular pen, one that you and I both know which one I mean.
Let's check out another example. If Tim sits on a chair, he could pick any chair in the room. Makes sense. But if he sits on the chair nearest the door, aha, now we know exactly which one. The makes it specific.
So how do you pick between a and an an? It's pretty simple, actually. A comes before consonant sounds, and an comes before vowel sounds. But here is a really important tip that trips up so many people. It is all about the sound of the next word, not the letter it starts with. That's why we say a university, because it starts with that y sound, and an hour, because the h is silent. Kind of cool, right? It's one of those little tricks of the language.
All right, so we can build sentences and we can name things. What's next? Let's talk about time, using the simple tenses.
Just think of time like a straight line. You've got the past for actions that are all done, the present for things happening right now or just your daily habits, and the future for actions that haven't happened yet. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Easy.
Now, to talk about the past, a lot of the time we just add ed to the end of a verb. So walk becomes walked. That simple little change moves the entire sentence into yesterday.
For the present, it's even easier. We usually just use the basic form of the verb. I walk. This can mean I'm walking right now, or maybe it's just something I do every day.
And what about the future? All you gotta do is add one simple word before the verb, will. I will walk. This little word is like a time machine. It instantly sends your action into tomorrow.
You know, our sentences are looking pretty good. But now, let's make them more interesting. Let's add some color, some simple details, with adjectives and adverbs. We've got two main tools for this job. Adjectives describe nouns, the people, places, and things in our sentence. Adverbs describe verbs, the actions. A really easy way to remember it is, adjectives are for things and adverbs are for actions.
See, in this example, the adjective careful tells us more about the noun, which is driver. What kind of driver is he? Oh, he's a careful one. It just adds a little more detail to the person.
And now look at this. See the difference? Here, the adverb carefully tells us how he does the action. How does he drive? He drives carefully. It's describing the verb. And that's it. We did it. Let's do a quick review of the 4 key tools we've just popped into your new grammar toolkit. So let's recap your toolkit.
With just these 4 rules, you can build almost any basic English sentence you want. Just remember, always start with your subject-verb-object blueprint. Then use a or an for general things and the for specific ones. Talk about time using past, present, and future. And finally, add some flavor with adjectives for your nouns and adverbs for your verbs.
You now have the fundamental tools to start building clear, correct sentences in English. You've got the blueprint, you've got the key pieces, so the only question left is, what sentence are you going to build first? Start playing around with these tools and you'll be amazed at how quickly you improve. Thanks for building with me today.